welcome to another Led Zeppelin nugget that's not everybody does a lesson on, and when they do they listen to the song? Okay, song honestly is pretty simple, but it's Page. What does Page do? He mixes things up. So we're going to go through the verse, and then right after the verse is what I'm calling a bridge. Okay, it'll take us into verse 2, and verse 2 even changes. All right, so we'll talk about that as we get to it. Then we have a break, a little lick in the break, not very hard, and then a second verse and out. So really not a whole lot to this song. Love the lyrics. The rock that we'll be doing, we'll talk about some of the timing that's specific to get you into the correct positions, where you cut it short so you can walk up into the next chord and so forth. So we're in standard tuning. Of course, my notes will be a link below. Thank you for letting the ads roll. It's very much appreciated. And we'll get into the lesson. To this song, the intro is really John Bonham hitting on the hi-hat, and then we kick right in with the verse. So the verse is going to start out with an A sus4. We're not going to worry about the first string, all right? So we'll be playing through the second string. So just play an A power chord, add your second finger down on the 3rd fret of the second string, and then off for an A. Back to that 4th, back to A. Now when we go back to an A sus4, we're going to do a little chord lick. Chord lick, let's call it that. Because we're playing the chord and we're letting that ring while we play the notes. So the notes will be, as we play this A sus4, we're going to be pulling off from the 3rd fret of the 2nd string to 2, striking 2 on the 3rd string. We do it twice. Alright, so let's go through that intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do A in the notes, then our A sus4 in the notes, then an A, but we hold it. Alright, we're going to go into the second measure, which is a lot different. We'll add some pinky action to this with some rock type chords. Second measure of the first verse, what we're going to do is hit our 6th string open and play an E sus4. Alright, so we're going to add our pinky, I just used my pinky, down onto the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. Alright, but we're not going to hit the whole chord. We're really going to just focus on those bottom 4 strings. So we're going to hit the E open 6th string, and then this chord 3 times. Alright, so we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he does a quick lick. Alright, so it's a 2 to 4 on the 5th and 4th string, hammered on. Then we just come back to a simple E power chord. We're going to hit that E note and then the chord 3 times. That will allow us to walk up to the next section. Okay, so up to the walk up will be open E, then 2 and 4 on the 6th and 5th string, and then to the 3rd fret of the 6th string and 5th fret, a G chord. Just a power chord, because we're going to be adding our pinky to it, alright, on that 5th string. So, what we have so far up to the walk up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so see how that timing works? Because we're only hitting it 3 times. into the G chord. Now we'll talk about the G chord and the rest of this measure, actually measure and a half, to finish out what I call verse 1. Okay, so we've walked up to the G chord, and we're going to use our pinky on most of these 6th root chords. All right, so we'll be adding our pinky 2 frets up. All right, so I want to talk about my tab. I did like when you do the G 3 5 right together, because they are 3 5 3 5. So I didn't put a space between them. And then the 3 7 is right together twice, because we're playing it twice right together. So I just want to explain that part of my tab, because when you get up to 10 and 12, it gets, I don't know, it just looks messy to me. But anyhow, I wanted you to understand the timing, because they're played so quickly together. All right, so we got our walk up. What we're going to do is hit our G twice, then add our pinky twice, back to G, pinky twice. All right, from this G, we're going to move all the way up. All right, now we're going to be at the 10th fret, adding our pinky to 12. Now, I added the timing to this. We're going to go 12 to 14, 12, and 14 only once. All right, so it'll sound like this. Because then we hit an open E and come up to an F power chord. So that, just giving that 14 one less hit gives us time to come up to our F. All right, so let's do this would be a D power chord with our added on 6th suspension. So we'll do that 1.5 times through. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we're up to the F. The F, we're going to do a full 2. All right, so we're moving from 3 to 5 on that. We'll do that a full 2 times each, 3 and 5. Then we're going to quickly move up to C. Now this C is very short. We're going to go from the C, which is 8 and 10, to 12, and then 2 more 8s. And then we change, because we're doing a walk-up. All right, so it'll sound like this. That's where we go back to our G and our walk-up from an E. All right, so... All right, let's go through the second measure up to our second walk up to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our second walk up will start out with the E6 string to the second and fourth, 6th and 5th string. Then we do the G for 3.5 measures. So we'll be hitting 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5 to 7, 5, and then we go back into the bridge, which is basically an A. So our walk up, the final walk up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we're into what I call the bridge. It's going to sound very similar to the first verse and what we did, but the difference is we're going to stop and then start verse 2, and where we stop, is different from the first time through, all right? So the reason is because we start on an A. All right, where before we started with an A sus4. All right, so my point is, follow my tab, you'll see we're going to hit an A sus4, then an A, then an A sus4, then our A, which will start the lick, A sus4, A, and then A sus4 and stop. Alright, so that is, again, quite different from the first measure of the first verse, because we start with A and end on A sus4, where the first measure of the verse, or the intro, if you will, starts on A sus4 and ends on A. So you can see the difference there. Then we're into verse 2. Now, verse 2 will start, this is real different, okay? He's only going to do the lick every other, and the every other is on the A. So when we start the verse, we're going to come in with our A sus4, then our A, and then the lick. A sus4, A, then the lick. So he'll do that a total of 1, 2, 3 times, and then we stop at an A, okay? And we're into the next, our E. We'll go through that. But again, verse 2, coming out of the bridge, here's how it should sound. So you can see already how verse 2 is different, because we don't do the lick between each chord. It's only after the A, and we end on the A. So that's verse 2. The rhythm is exactly the same. The difference is we will stop there, and then we're going to come back in before the break. The measure before the break after we stop is just a simple slide in from 2 to 4, and continuing with our pinky up to 7 from 5. We'll go to 7, 5, 4 times and stop on 5. All right, now he starts singing, "Oh Mama," this is the break. So the first measure of the break comes in after that stop and that next measure. We're going to do very similar. We're going to stay at the G. We're going to come into it from 2 to 4. We'll be hitting 3 and 5 to 7, a total of 7.5 times. The half will bring us back to a and a stop. All right, so it'll sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we stop. You'll hear the lick of the song, and then we're going to come back in with another little tag off of the break. So the lick we'll hear will sound like this. Not tough, but memorable, all right? So what we're doing is pulling off from 17 to 15 on the second string, striking 15 again. We'll do that twice. The third time we'll hit 15 twice. All right, and then we're back into the rhythm, which will take us into basically the third measure of this break. And what we're going to do is go from a B to C. All right, The C will be played a total of 3.5 times. I'm sorry. Then we're going to do our walk up to G. Then we go right back up to 8. All right. We're going to do this a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3.5 times. Walk up to G again. And then we're into verse 3. All right, so that's the end of the break. Verse 3, again, there's a little difference that I want to talk about that Page does to get us back into time. So coming into verse 3, we come in with an A chord, then our A sus4, okay, which again throws the timing off because he started the song with the sus4 and so forth. So just like the second verse, we're coming in with an A right from those pinky chords. What he does is we'll go to A, all right, first time through, A sus4, A again, and then A sus4 twice. The second one will start the lick, and then the lick goes every chord, all right? So I'm going to take you through verse 3. We'll just come right in. Let's go in from the very last pinky chord with the 7s. Alright, so I stopped short there, but you can see verse 3 is actually a little bit longer. Once we start from A sus4 to our licks, back to an A, back to A sus4, that'll continue until we hit that A, and we're into the next measure with the E. All right, so really that continues an extra, I think it's 2 measures without really counting it out and just looking at it. So again, I got the notes, follow that, and then we're into, basically we're going to finish off the song. So we start out with our E sus4. All right, we know all of that. We're going to come up, from... Let's see, we'll end up on our C, that's short, 10, 12, 10, and then come up to the G walk up. All right, we're going to do that 1, 2, 3.5 times and stop. And then start it again. This will be starting the ending, all right? We're going to slide in from 2 to 4 to 3 to 5. And we'll add the 7 again 3.5 times. Stop. You're going to do that stop 4 more times, okay? And after that, the song is over. So I hope this really helps you with some of, I think, Page's thinking and timing and working out a song to make it work best. Honestly, partially for the vocals and just the timing. So great lesson in that. So hope you enjoy.